This is the endo stitch drill, and it uses a Maryland grasper in the left hand, the endo stitch device in the right hand, and the camera is again held in a mechanical arm such that both hands are free. To load the endo stitch device, both of these handles are squeezed. There are two black buttons on the handle which are squeezed, and as you can see, these green handles then can be pushed forward. What this allows to happen is that these two pins at the end of the device will then protrude from the tip. We can then set the device down, open up our endo stitch reload. We prefer a 3/0 Polysorb suture. It comes in a 48-inch length in case a trainee wishes to practice extracorporeal knot tying. We can then take this reload unit, and the endo stitch device is placed inside of the unit as shown here. There is only writing on one side of the endo stitch instrument, and the writing should be facing away from the load. This is then snapped into place, held securely by this little plastic collar, and then the handles are actually squeezed. As we watch this little part of the load, the jaws come over the needle and grab the needle securely. We still squeeze the handle as we pull back these two pins. We hear an audible click, and then the reload unit can be dislodged, and as seen here, the needle is securely loaded within the jaws of the instrument. We will then trim this to a 7-inch length as shown here, and this corresponds to about 17 to 18 centimeters if you have an instrument that is measured with those increments. To check to see if the load has been loaded correctly, we squeeze the handle, flip this green switch to one side, and then release the handles and watch the jaws open. We then repeat this maneuver by squeezing the handles tight, flipping this green switch in the other direction, and now the needle has in fact changed sides. And I like to do this several times to make sure that the device is loaded correctly and that the needle is working appropriately. The next helpful maneuver is to tease out the memory in that suture such that it hangs out in a relatively straight fashion. The endo stitch instrument is then closed and inserted into the right hand port. For left hand individuals, this setup can be reversed, and the object of this task will be to place a single suture with one knot to approximate these two foam appendages. The setup here is that we have rectangular pieces of foam lined up parallel, just approximating each other in the middle. They are held securely on the sides of the trainer, as can be seen here, with alligator clips. These are held in two locations on each side. Again, these foam pieces should be barely touching at the mid portion of the trainer. The camera should be adjusted such that a clear field of view is achieved.